that. We'll be back. Teofilo Stevenson. Is he as great as he used to be? Is he getting a little heavy there in the midriff? We'll find out when he goes against Jimmy Clark. There he is in a few minutes. Now, let's... All right, that's Jimmy Clark, the kid from Coatesville, Pennsylvania. And a remarkable young man. We'll develop that story for you as he goes against Teofilo Stevenson in just a few minutes on ABC's Wide World of Sports. He has fought Teofilo twice before, and though a loser in both contests, in the one in Havana, he impressed many enough to have made them think that he had won that bout. This bout I called back in February of 1978. There is Teofilo Stevenson. He is a tremendous puncher. There on your screen, the current team score. The United States against Cuba. Coming up next, the heavyweight bout. Teofilo Stevenson against Jimmy Clark on ABC's Wide World of Sports. All-time gold medal winner in that classification at Montreal and at Munich before that. Getting ready to go against this man, Jimmy Clark. Twice before they have fought, Stevenson has won them both. But your confidence is unshaken. Why?
Both fights were learning experiences, and I think as a result of those fights, I know I'm a lot better than probably any other American.
Certainly you're unafraid.
Of course not.
And Jimmy, how will you make the fight? Very quickly.
Well, right away, I'll go right up to him and stay to his right and avoid, of course, his right hand. But move to his left and avoid the right hand. And how really important, I want to say that I'm dedicating this fight to our 50 American people down in Iran. I pray for their release.
Thank you very much. Go out and good luck to you, Jimmy. So that's the young man who must fight, Teofilo Stevenson. And this time he thinks he can do it. Charlotte Coliseum, and in the right-hand corner of your screen, barely visible, the great man, at least in the past, Teofilo Stevenson. He is now 29 years of age, 6'5" in height. That may be a little bit extreme. He weighs in at 233, and that may be a little bit heavy. He has fought his opponent, Jimmy Clark, twice before. Let's go back in time and watch Stevenson against Clark. Cuba, back in February of 1978. And Clark fought with surprising effectiveness against Stevenson. Gave him all kinds of trouble. Bob Serkin was the third man in the ring. And then this was at Madison Square Garden. That was in October of 78. And this time, Stevenson found the way to get to Clark. The first time, many people thought Clark had actually outpointed him. But right there, Clark went down for the first time. Serkin determined he could go on, but really, he was stunned. And so he couldn't even get his guard up, and like a tiger, Stevenson was all over him. And that was it. Serkin would take no further time. Now there is Jimmy Clark. I've called him a remarkable young man, and there's a reason why. He believes in the national interest first, his personal interest second. He's expressed that belief, and thus he got an extraordinary handwritten letter from the President of the United States. This is the letter. I really appreciated your fine letter and your unselfish but effective commitment to freedom and respect for human life. The same qualities which have made you a champion athlete are demonstrated reiterated in your advice to boycott the Olympic Games in Moscow because of the Soviet invasion of a freedom-loving nation. You have my admiration and my friendship. Signed, Jimmy Carter. And you just heard Jimmy in the opening tease to Wide World of Sports dedicate this fight to the 50 hostages in Iran. So he's a thoughtful young man with a Bachelor of Science degree from Westchester State College. His hometown, Coatesville, Pennsylvania. In the backdrop, the introduction now of Jimmy Clark, Teofilo Stevenson having been previously introduced. Under any circumstances, the U.S. against Cuba today has come down to this. The U.S. has won 5 matches, Cuba 5 matches, one of those by a walkover, our middleweight Jeff McCracken being injured and unable to fight. The bell for round 1. I'm going to take it right to him, Jimmy Clark said. Stevenson, upright with that long left that sets up that right. First round action. Stevenson, always like a tiger. The crowd roaring at Jimmy, getting in a quick combination. Stevenson does seem a little heavy in the tummy to me, based on all the previous times I've had him. Clark with a right after a left lead. No question about it. Stevenson, a commanding presence. A good right by Clark. And then a left just before the break. And Clark with another left. And he is taking it to Teofilo. That's Alfredo Toledo, the third man in the ring. There is dynamite in those Stevenson fists. So Clark has to combine his tactical advances with some degree of caution so as not to get tagged. We're about 2 minutes into the first round. There is blood on the upper lip of Stevenson, apparently from his nose. From Jimmy Clark, so far as I can see. Now the crowd is really getting on Toledo. Clark must be sure that the referee doesn't undo his concentration, because Toledo is making a farce of this now. Let's see. Blood on Clark. I'm trying to get a view of it. The fighter's back is to me. As soon as I can get a full-face view of Jimmy. Meantime, the crowd in a state of definite unrest over the antics of the referee. Clark is all over Stevenson. Clark fighting unafraid. Clark getting that left in. That's a wild one. And another one. That's what he must be careful of. You saw Stevenson answer with the right. My goodness, he's calling that a standing 8 count. There is blood coming out of Stevenson's nose. What is going on here? The referee is Alfredo Toledo. Apparently there is a cut over the eye. That's it. I can't get a... there's a face view. And as you can see, there doesn't seem to be any real damage there. There's the end of round 1. Crowd standing, giving Jimmy Clark an ovation. It's been a messy first round because of the referee. Alfredo Toledo of Cuba. There is the cut right within the brow that's being treated now. But Stevenson is the one who's really bloodied up. They've just cleaned it. Blood pouring out of his nose. And for Clark, in the absence of any sign from Toledo ordering the officials, remember 3 judges score the bout to take away points from Clark, he won that first round. Remember, the 2 teams tied at 5 matches apiece.
Hurt him. Don't look at him. Go to the body.
A remarkable.
Go to the body. Look. Double the punch up.
You hear Sarge Johnson?
Duck and low. Duck and low. Look. Hit him with a hook to the body and bring it up. Let your eyes follow your hands.
Get him with a hook to the body. Then bring it up. The crowd has won now, exhorting Jimmy Clark on. Round 2. Remarkable showing by this American team. If the Olympics take place in Moscow, we will have a team, clearly, of the caliber of the team at Montreal. May not win 5 gold medals, but they'll provide tremendous boxing shows. 30 seconds into round 2. Clark the aggressor in the first round, scoring with lefts and with rights. See that left getting in there? He's beating Stevenson to the punch. Stevenson with the reach advantage, but not getting that left into Jimmy to set up his right, at least not up till now. Right there, Clark again on the exchange. Minute 10 seconds into round 2. He is charging points against Jimmy Clark for an alleged butt. People are now beginning to throw debris into the ring. This has to affect Clark's effectiveness. Now Toledo is stopping the action while he removes the debris. It's a sad thing to see this competition, which has been so spirited, except for some holding in the Bernard Taylor fight. It's been a beautiful competition. Brilliant for the most part. And now, if Clark is growingly frustrated, you can understand it. If his concentration is impaired, you can understand it. Stevenson now knows he's in a fight. Blood is again coming down from his nostrils. Clearly, Jimmy is the aggressor in every respect. Crowd roars, half mockingly, as Stevenson gets a caution. That right, that's the kind that usually puts away the opponent, but it didn't score. Jimmy carries with him his card, acknowledging his graduation and his Bachelor of Science degree. Very proud of what he's accomplished. He's a proud man. This is round 2. 20 seconds, as you can see. Counting down. Stevenson no longer has the look of the polished, graceful, great fighter that he was in 2 prior Olympiads. I'll be back. You can hear them. As one, they sense the possibility of an upset by Jimmy Clark, the third and the last round. He has fought absolutely as the aggressor. He has not shown the slightest sign of fear. Quite the contrary, he's shown naught but confidence. Stevens has looked sluggish. Not the same fighter that we saw destroy Bobbick in Munich and John Tate at Montreal. But there's another round to go. Oh, he's really teeing off on Stevenson. He's bloodied Stevenson's nose. He's had a cut himself over his right eye. Alfredo Toledo, the referee from Cuba, has become in his own way the dominant figure in the match. Debris being thrown into the ring again. Repeatedly, he has cautioned Clark. He even took away points from him in the second round. Again, Toledo cautioning Clark about alleged butts. Clark fighting as effectively as one would want, and more effectively than I would have believed, against Stevens with that past reputation. Jimmy beating Stevenson to the punch with the left throughout the fight. Stevenson with a quick left lead. Stevenson missing with his key blows. Clark getting in his own. Tell you, even if the officials give this fight to Stevenson, if it goes the distance, the way Clark has fought, again, Toledo cautioning Clark, making a farce of this thing. Crowd booing incessantly now, booing the referee. Oh, there! He left himself open. The one thing Clark had to do. He had to be careful because there is still dynamite in those Stevenson fists. He left himself open, and a quick combination, the left and right, put Jimmy down. The first knockdown in the fight, though there was a standing 8 count that didn't really seem worthy, at least to my observation. So Stevenson has shown us that he can still punch. Jimmy Clark going in to hold, to protect himself. Very much now on the defensive. The American team is rooting Clark on, led by Alex Ramos. It looks like Clark now will go the distance, though the tide of the fight turned with that knockdown here in the third and final round. Again, Toledo interfering with Clark and his concentration, producing frustration. The end of the bout is at hand. All right. Look at that crowd. Listen to them. Sarge Johnson and his aide telling Jimmy Clark how proud they are of him. And we'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Here comes the decision. Well, they gave it to Stevenson, which I suppose could be argued on the basis, A, of the referee's antics, and B, the third round, when he did change the flow of the fight with that quick, sharp combination that knocked Jimmy Clark down. But Stevenson, no part of the fighter we have seen in the past. Without professional competition through the last 8 years, clearly, it seems to me, he has gone back as a fighter. In the meantime, Jimmy Clark can feel nothing but pride in his performance today. And as I said, he is a proud human